Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nitty Gritty of Real Estate podcast. Today we're going to be talking about home buyer programs. Let's get into it. Today we are here with Community Investment Corporation's Director of Housing, Patty Gonzalez. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so you're basically going to outline all of these great programs that we have for new buyers and buyers who own a home, right? Like it's not just for first-time home buyers.
Correct. It depends on the program.
Okay.
But yes, there are some that are available.
Okay, very cool, very cool. So my biggest question is, what is the Community Investment Corporation, or CIC?
CIC is a local nonprofit that has been around since 1995 to help secure financial empowerment to our community via 3 different programs or 3 different departments that are offered at CIC.
Gotcha. And CIC is not just in Tucson, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so we were kind of talking about this earlier because I didn't fully understand it, that there's kind of different or similar organizations in different areas around the country.
Correct.
Is that right? Okay.
Correct.
Okay, and are they all named Community Investment Corporation, or they just have different names, or?
They have different names. So each entity is a nonprofit that is hired by city, county, federal to administer their programs.
Gotcha. Okay, and the majority of those funds come from federal entities, right? Like I would imagine it would be HUD.
There's HUD funding, there's federal funding, IRS, different funding source.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So that does answer some of my questions that I had that I didn't fully understand. And I'm a real estate agent, so it's good to know these things, as we move forward. So what is your function within CIC as the Director of Housing?
So there at CIC, as the Director of Housing, we are the fiscal agent to many programs. And my role there is to make sure that all the programs are explained and people are aware that they exist. And that's why I'm here today, is just to make sure people are aware that there is a lot of programs available. And as long as the research is done, or if I'm out there helping spread the word and also facilitate the programs.
Yeah. And I think this is one of the biggest reasons why we had to have you on, is because not many people know about it. And it's hard when you're a nonprofit to send out all these ad dollars to make sure that you exist, and you exist for a good reason, which is home ownership.
Correct.
And many lenders, I think, are more on top of this than real estate agents are. And not all lenders are even on top of this stuff. So I think this is a good way to introduce this to Tucson and the surrounding areas here. So right now we kind of have some bigger programs for home buyers. And as we're switching into more of a buyer's market, I think we're going to probably see you be helping a lot more people now that interest rates are starting to rise a little bit higher, and they may not have as much money for a down payment. What are just a few that you can name for us that will, maybe the major ones that will help people?
Okay. So we do have a down payment assistance program that's called PEMA Tucson Homebuyer Solutions, also known as PTHS. And it's a down payment assistance that's anywhere from 0% to 4% in down payment assistance and closing costs.
And that percentage is based on the total price of the home, right?
The loan amount.
Loan amount, okay.
So the assistance is based off the loan amount,
okay,
and what the home buyer needs. So whatever they are asking for is what they'll receive or what they need to qualify.
Gotcha.
And it is actually a loan product. So it is processed through your mortgage companies, and we'll be covering that in another session.
Sure.
So that's a particular down payment assistance that is a loan product. And then what can be combined with it now is what they call essential worker assistance. And that particular program is 2% of the loan amount up to $5,000. So in addition to the PEMA Tucson Homebuyer Solutions assistance.
Gotcha. Okay. And they can't be used separate from one another, right? They kind of, if you get the PEMA Tucson Homebuyer Solution, you can then potentially qualify for the essential workers.
Correct. So as long as you qualify for the PTHS program and you are an essential worker, you are pretty much guaranteed the essential worker funds.
Gotcha. And what's an example of, like, if you're an essential worker, how do you determine that?
It's CDC, but there are plenty. I mean, we've not really denied very many.
Yeah.
So pretty much everyone is considered an essential worker.
Okay, and I know you recently bumped up that amount.
Correct.
Is that right?
So it was 1% up to 2,500. Now it's 2% up to 5,000 effective this coming Monday.
Wow. Okay, that's a great program.
Yes.
Very cool. And so then there's the MCC or mortgage credit certificate, right?
That's correct.
And that's kind of I know that's been around for a few years. I don't know how long it's been around.
For decades.
For decades.
Yes.
Okay.
So the MCC program's actually been around since 1991.
Okay.
I've been administering it since 1995. So it's something that's always been there.
Yeah.
And it's one of those great programs that kind of people forget about or aren't aware of. And,
Sure.
and that's what I'm here today to talk about.
Yeah,
The program and the benefits.
That's great because I actually did that on my first house.
That's great.
It only is for new home buyers, right? First-time home buyers.
First time or you've not owned in the last 3 years, there's some exceptions to veterans and target areas and such. So
There are really positive tax implications with that. Can you explain maybe what that is?
Okay. So what the MCC does is anyone that gets a mortgage will be paying interest, and anyone that has a mortgage gets to write off their interest as a deduction.
Okay.
So that's any home buyer with a mortgage.
Gotcha.
What this program does, it gives them an additional tax credit. So it's 40% of the interest they pay as a tax credit up to $2,000. So based off today's loan amounts and interest rates, everyone is pretty much capped at $2,000 and looking at a $2,000 credit for the life of the mortgage. So it's good for 30 years.
Wow. Okay. That's a big one. I think to save $2,000 on your taxes so you don't have to, you might get some money back at the end if you're W-2, and if you work for yourself, then your tax exposure kind of is a little bit less at the end of the year.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And then that helps with home improvements and, when you're speaking to your home buyers and helping them even make an extra mortgage payment.
Yeah, and home improvements are very good, especially if you plan on selling your home in the future. Those are things you don't have to pay for as you're under contract with that. So is there anything else like with MCC that we should be aware of? How do you qualify for that as a home buyer?
So for the MCC program, it is available statewide, and we do administer, CIC administers the program for the entire state. And so you would apply through CIC. We've made it as simple as possible, especially with COVID. So you could apply online. There's a portal. Everything goes through the website. There are some income and price restrictions, and there is a staff that's dedicated just to processing the MCC, and the process is a one-time application, and it moves pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Simple process.
That is true. Since I did it, it was very easy, very quick, and I know that we had to verify a few things. So it was, I think for me, it helped the lender sort of figure out some ways, because when you work for yourself, it's a lot harder to prove like I make this much money. It's not all the time, but sometimes it is. So they can use that credit to help you qualify for the home that you want to buy.
That's correct. So not only are you benefiting on your tax returns every year for the life of the loan, the lender can actually consider that tax credit as additional income, which helps you either qualify for more house or offset any debts you might have, what they call their ratios. So or purchase more home. So that's big buying power.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great program. And again, this is going out to everyone in the state and across the nation. So if you are outside of Arizona, we can connect you with a great agent in your area who can then connect you with a lender and the CIC or whoever that entity is in your area to help you with a first-time mortgage, either down payment or tax deduction, any of those programs. And that money is given by the federal government to these local organizations to disperse for that specific reason.
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. So Patty, a lot of even CPAs maybe don't know about this. Homeowners don't know how to deduct this when they get the form in. What is the best way that they should, once they qualify for it and go through the process, close on the home? Now it's their first year. They have the first full year that they can actually take this deduction, and you guys send them the paperwork. CIC gives them the paper to fill out. What happens next?
So every January, we actually send them the tax form with instructions on different ways they can actually claim it, whether they do their own taxes, TurboTax, or their CPA. We actually send them the tax form and say, hey, this is what it looks like. Look for that letter from your lender telling you how much interest you paid. So we give a step-by-step. We are also starting to do free tax preparation for people that actually have the certificate for that reason, because even your CPAs, even when they have the instructions, they forget the difference between a deduction and this actual credit, or if it's not even a scam. We get that all the time. Is this even real?
Wow.
So it works similar to your child tax credits. It's a line item that's on your tax return. It just takes time for someone to look into it.
Sure. And now there is a yearly fee associated with that, correct?
Correct. So there is a renewal fee. And so we'll bill you in January. We let you file your tax returns, and we want to make sure you take the benefit and see the $2,000 credit. If for some reason you do not benefit from the program, we actually waive the fee for that year.
Okay.
And there's times that people do not file income tax returns, especially around COVID. People were not working. The credit actually rolls over for 3 years. So it's something that they can continue to benefit from. And while they're not claiming, we're not going to charge them that renewal fee.
That's a extremely powerful tool, I think, to become a homeowner, and something that isn't really utilized enough, in my opinion, especially here in Tucson. Again, it's you don't know what you don't know, right?
Correct.
So, and this is the reason for this podcast, is to expose people to these programs.
Definitely.
So,
And
yeah.
it's been around for so long, and it doesn't run out of money, and I have plenty of money through at least 2025. So funding there always is. It's just getting the word out and getting people qualified and into the program.
Yeah, and these MCC has gone pretty much indefinitely, but with the grants and things, those can run out, correct?
They can run out. The PTHS program has been around for a good 15 years. The essential worker, that has a certain amount of money that will run out at some point.
Okay.
So each program will have its allocation.
Okay. Well, very cool. And what would a home buyer do for the next step if they're interested in this program? What would you suggest them to do?
You can visit our website, cictucson.org, and on there's a page just regarding MCCs, or the homeownership page that talks about all the down payment assistance program, because there are multiple programs. And then the mortgage credit certificate program, and tells you how to apply. Specifically PTHS, you see a lender. There's a list of lenders that participate. So yeah, there's a lot of instructions on our website. Otherwise, I have staff that just dedicated to this particular homeownership department and are welcome to meet with people. I try to get out, do lunch and learns for lenders and realtors, and
Yeah. You're just one person, though. It's hard to hard to be everywhere at once, right? Because we do have a lot of realtors here.
Yes.
And you got to get into every one of their ears and then remind them that this program exists even after the first time.
Right.
We're going to link your information down in the description below. We'll also have your email there. So if anyone has any questions specifically for you, they could reach out to you. And we will have our information, of course, down there as always. And if you want to reach out to us, we can connect you with Patty or anyone else in the organization there. And then keep an eye out for the next few episodes that are going to be, it's not going to be the next one, but we're going to have Sienna, who has been on our podcast in the past from Guild Mortgage, who's going to talk about the PTHS program, the Pima Tucson Home Buyer Solutions, who can sort of elaborate a little bit more on the lending side of that and how you can qualify for your dream home with those programs.
Correct.
Yeah, so there's going to be some exciting things coming up here in the future, so please keep an eye out for them. And Patty, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you giving us all this great knowledge, and hopefully we can get some home buyers to come and use this program. Thank you for listening and watching the Nitty Gritty of Real Estate podcast here with the Tom J. Krieger team of Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. If you are interested in buying a home, selling a home, or even investing in real estate, we have 5,000 agents across the country that we can connect you to. If you need any free resources, feel free to check out our website at www.thetjkteam.com. We hope you have a great day.